can assure that we get in. It's really nice to see everyone here today. It's great to see some really great friends and supporters at FamilyWise, and it's been an exciting summer for us so far. So we have a lot to share and to talk about, and we're happy to be able to do that with you, and happy to have Katie here as our guest today. Some of you may know that I mentioned last time that we had a quarterly call that we recently received a grant in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Human Services to develop a parent leadership program. And as some of you may know, prior to our merger in 2020, Minnesota Communities Caring for Children had been a champion for parent leadership and worked to build the confidence and skills of parents as advocates for parents, children, and families in community and systems settings. So we're really happy to have that expertise to build on and to be able to kind of reimagine that work, because the approach is so well aligned with all of our work at FamilyWise, from working with parent support partners and parent mentors all the way through to helping prepare parents to sit at different tables and bring kind of policy and advocacy wisdom. It's been energizing for us to reimagine parent leadership collaboratively with staff across all departments. And we look forward to sharing more updates about this. We're excited that this program will allow us to reach families who are not just families involved in the child welfare system, but families who have experience with early childhood systems and juvenile justice systems. And we'll be working on building an advisory council from throughout the greater Minnesota and Twin Cities area to help inform this work. And then building on our Family Wellbeing Index that we published in April, we have also been deepening our work on understanding and evaluating the role of natural supports in the lives of families we partner with. With support from a federal grant and the Sauer Family Foundation, we are developing toolkits for our staff and participants that we hope will help families strengthen their support networks. We know anecdotally that having family and friends and neighbors to call on for babysitting or a ride to work, financial advice, or a laugh builds the resilience of parents and children. Over the next few months, we will develop an evaluation tool and begin measuring the impact of our programs on helping families establish a robust natural support system. And then we are also in the middle of a great change related to our wraparound program, and it's exciting to see Carol here as such a champion of our WRAP services. But we are in the midst of making sure that we can be credentialed so that wraparound can be reimbursable through third-party billing, so through insurance programs. If you're not familiar, High Fidelity Wraparound is a program that wraps concrete and natural supports around families of youth with serious mental and behavioral health challenges. We anticipate that this change, set to take place later this fall, will increase demand for wraparound as a preventative service, whereas today wraparound is primarily available to systems-involved families. And then in addition to the new work that we have been doing, we recently had a wonderful experience being rechartered by Prevent Child Abuse America. It was an amazing learning and re-envisioning opportunity for us. As you may know, after our merger with MCCC, FamilyWise became the home of Prevent Child Abuse Minnesota. And every 3 years, you go through a chartering process. And we had two advisors, one who's a PCAA staff member and a fellow executive director from another state chapter, came and spent 2 days in conversation with us in Minnesota. We discussed strengths and challenges of our work as an agency, and I'm so grateful for the resources and insights we gained from our time together. I don't think the information will be public until the end of the month when the committee fully meets, but we were able to pass our chartering process and will continue as a charter of Prevent Child Abuse America. And some of the few takeaways and learnings from that visit for me were that Minnesota is a rich state with many supports for families, and we still have much to do to ensure that they are accessible to all families. We personally at FamilyWise have opportunities to grow our work, particularly in advocacy, and the National PCAA office has great resources to support us in making those changes. And then we continue to value and support the commitment to be on the forefront of prevention work in the state, and we'll be looking at how we invite our partners to share in this work. Looking ahead to the rest of this year, we are looking to engage people in a number of different ways, from volunteering to participating in events. One opportunity that came up in the PCAA recharter process is our desire to grow our board. We currently have 7 board members, and we hope to increase participation to between 12 and 13 for next year. We also have committees that are open to board and community members, including finance, marketing and fundraising, and likely public policy. If you or anyone you know would be interested in the board or committee experiences, please reach out to me. We'd love to have your recommendations and and have you share that resource with us. And then as fall approaches, like many other nonprofits, we are gearing up for our busiest fundraising season. In November and December, we will host our annual Adopt a Family and Radiothon events. In the meantime, we are hosting a fall fundraiser next month in the form of a scavenger hunt that families and friends can play via a free phone app. It is open to all ages and can be played anywhere in Minnesota. Families will compete for prizes by completing enriching missions that center on 5 areas of well-being: social, emotional, mental, physical, and cultural. The event will be lots of fun for families and will help families see how fun activities can also nurture their connections and life skills. And in that kind of line of thinking, today we brought Katie Birch to join us to talk more about the importance of family fun. Katie is our Parenting Support Services Manager, and she's worked with parents in our parent education programs for a number of years. She's an expert on family fun, both because she is a fun mom and grandma, and I know you'll never believe that. Not the fun part, but maybe the grandma part. And because she has been supporting families for 10 years at FamilyWise. So welcome, Katie.
Thank you guys for having me here. What a fun topic.
I know, and it's so totally up your alley. I know, though, that you work with families who are experiencing some really, really hard times. How do you see them still having fun?
I see families reaching out and using their community resources and natural supports by attending community events, church fairs, neighborhood barbecues, using their trails and parks, and utilizing the things available to them within their neighborhoods, and building that community by neighborhood kids playing and spending time together at home. One of my most recent fun things I'm noticing families to do is all the fun TikTok trends, like whether it be making up dances and cooking and recipes and different projects or experiments and things like that. And most of those activities are very low cost or free, and give families a chance to be together and do fun things, and sometimes and have that recording even to look back on after years. And so I think that's another new way that families are having fun for very low cost, if any.
Katie, I love that. Like, I wouldn't even think about that. And that's such a fun way of, I mean, it's both, you know, being able to have fun together and to memorialize that. That's really cool. And just wasn't what I was expecting. So you've talked a lot about different low cost ways that people can get connected. Is there anything else that you would, any other ways that you would want to throw out there?
Yeah, definitely. We are connecting families with tons of free resources over this summer. Some that just come to mind are Kids Bowl Free. They get to bowl free a couple games a week at no cost to the parents. There's YMCA free memberships for teens over the summer. A lot of different just kind of community fairs and churches and free kind of food giveaways that now usually have some component of fun for kids. So parents are able to, you know, maybe join the food drive. And then there's also, you know, maybe a bouncy house or school supplies being given out. And so I've noticed a lot of that this summer. And another way I see parents enjoying family fun is engaging in our services and reaching out and asking for that help and having that willingness to learn and take on new resources and utilize those community resources.
That's really cool. I think you bring up like that. It feels like we're, as a community, starting to shift more to truly having a 2-generation approach. I mean, the fact that people who are putting together food drives are thinking about how do we invite children to be, present and to not feel bored while their parents are doing what they need to do. That's such a great example of that 2-gen approach. It's nice to see communities responding in that way. I'm also wondering if you could talk a little bit about like how you see like the importance of having fun together as a family. Like, how is it important for children in their healthy development?
Definitely. I could talk on this topic forever. I think the first thing that comes to mind is keeping kids connected to your home family values, helping the children feel important and valued, so, because you're giving them your time. It helps you to stay involved. It's a chance to ask questions, get to know their strengths and build on those strengths. Are they into sports? Are they into art? What are they into? It's time offline for kids and parents where you're engaging face to face. It helps kids to feel security and have that kind of feeling of stability within the home. It can also help families to build and maintain their family routines by kind of having that structure of play and fun activities within their kind of basic daily routines. I also see the importance of kids seeing parents have fun. They're stressed a lot, and being able to see a parent be silly or laugh or goofing around with kids is just a big stress reliever to the family and the kids, especially if they are going through hard times. To see mom laugh after she's had a stressful day is just so important. And it also teaches kids to learn how to manage their stress. And I also think a lot about the need for sibling rivalry and kids learning them problem solving skills and learning how to play a game of Sorry together and not get upset and be able to take turns and manage the kind of the competition piece of games and things like that. And I also think about how play is a child's work, and that through play we're teaching core life skills, problem solving skills, cooperation. You're building that respect between the parent and child. The child gets to see you as a human and not just a caregiver at all times. So there's so much I could say on that topic and how important play and family fun just is to building them good relationships with your kids.
It's so funny you say that, because I think about you think about the memories of the time I took the kids to Valley Fair but what really stands out in your memory is the day you stayed home and played cards because it was raining, or what your family culture is around playing Uno, and whether or not you have to play your skip card right away, or if you can hang on to it until when you want to use it. So I think that's great. And I think what you're speaking to is also just how much it builds the connection, like the relationships between parent and child, and how important that is, that there is that sense of joy there, and those things that you can kind of like build a foundation from as you move forward. And I think you talked a little bit about this, about like how it helps kids to see their parents feel like less stress, but do you think it also helps parents with their level of stress or the impacts of the stress that they're having?
Absolutely. It's time to get away from whatever stressors you have, maybe just that time being outside or enjoying nature, being able to not think about what stressors you may have, and just enjoy that time with your kids, and remember why you do all that work, why you go through stress and have all these challenges, because at the end of the day, you're doing this to be the best parent to your kids and be there for them, and enjoy that time with them, and see them smile and be happy. And that alone is a huge stress reliever. And having the family do things all together, and seeing maybe your kids having fun together, or seeing the project that came out of whatever you guys were working on together, or seeing them learn a skill that you worked on with them earlier in the day is just a little glimpse of just kind of a nice way to just relieve that stress and put a smile on your face no matter what's going on.
That's really cool. I think it's such a good way of framing it up. And, I think about when I see my sister and her kids and how you're right. There is something about like all those bad things can be happening. And then, one of the kids, reaches out with a family joke or, and how it just kind of completely changes the situation. It's really powerful. So do you have any stories about any family that you admire for how they have fun?
I do, and I actually, it came full circle this morning, which was quite coincidental. So I have a family who parents have split. They're going through a divorce, and with 3 boys, the boys have been taking it pretty hard. This is 14, 8 years old, and 4 years old. And so the 14-year-old has been taking it the hardest with dad not being in the home. Mom has been really stressed with trying to connect with medical insurance now since they will be switching over to MA, and very limited on resources. And over the summer, we've been able to, through PSOP, connect them to tons of different resources for fun activities to do. And most recently, Heidi and I worked together to get to do a mom and son date with just mom and the 14-year-old, some time away from the younger siblings. And they will be going to a Vikings game this Saturday. And mom is just so excited to make it a date night for the 2 of them. She's done a ton of stuff over this summer to just kind of help them continue to feel that same normal family closeness that they've had. And she has done pools throughout the summer. They have also connected with Urban Air to do some free tickets with that. I have sent her lots of like fairs that are going on, and they've attended those. We've had some families or a family through PSOP that attended our new parenting group, and it just shows the interest of these parents that, they want their kids to just feel like everything's the same and it's okay. And it really has helped this family to just get through the hard times with their first summer with a different family dynamic. And mom is doing just such a great job of keeping the kids happy and having fun and doing things over the summer, and now preparing for school. And I just thought it was really cute to see her really excited about this date night with just her and her oldest. So that was my highlight of my morning, actually. So she got approved for the tickets, and I got to send them over, and she was all excited, and she's like, I had to pull out my old Viking shirt. And so there's and that's just one of many, many examples of how our programming can sometimes help that parent kind of feel that support and be able to access those tickets and things like that she might not have been able to in her current situation. So.
Well, I think that's such a good point too, that family fun and how it fits when you have like a significant family transition, whether it's about building new memories or new traditions or new opportunities. And so I think that's a great other side benefit of this. And for those of you who may not know, one of the things that Katie didn't directly refer to, but we have a really valued partnership with Tickets for Kids, which is a great resource where they give us access to different events, and we're able to kind of connect families. So we really appreciate that support. And I have to note in the chat that Carrie mentioned, that this assets-based lens and that our communities and family are amazing. And it's true. I mean, I think what we're trying to lift up is not something that like we're the experts in. We're the ones that teach families to have fun. Families come with their skills about having fun, and we maybe help with a more intentional focus or maybe connect them with resources. But I think that it does really speak to just the strength of families in our communities, and how important it is to give them different ways of being supported, and that we shouldn't neglect the having fun part of being supported. It's a basic need, like things like having food and shelter and housing. So So I have to ask at the end, because for those of you who don't know, Katie is probably one of the most fun people on our staff. I always think about the stories that I hear around her family, and their schedule around Halloween is probably the busiest of any families I've ever met because of how fully they partake. But are there any stories from your own family or anything in your own experience that you would want to share about family fun?
Yes, there's so many. Um, so even you mentioning the Halloween events that we do, it and thinking about this question makes me think of how much my family has evolved over the years, and how we used to do a whole haunted house in the basement, and we'd have a big Halloween party, and all the kids would come over in the neighborhood. And as they got older and older, it's harder to scare teenagers through a haunted house. So we've changed some of those different things. But I think about how a lot of our family traditions have changed over the years. Like this past Easter, the kids, you got to hide our Easter basket really hard. And I'm like, where could I hide an Easter basket that a 17-year-old is not going to find it? And so it turned into now a scavenger hunt for Easter baskets, to make it really difficult to try to figure out each clue to find and the Easter basket's in a really simple spot, but they won't find it until they follow the clues. And then I think about the fun traditions that were passed down from my mom passed those traditions down to me. I got handed our heart-shaped cake pans to make heart-shaped cakes for every Valentine's Day. And my mom will call me the night before. Do you have your pans out? Are you making the cakes? Make sure they're ready in the morning. And it was just, we always woke up to heart-shaped cakes on Valentine's. And so now that is something that we do. One of the other really fun ones that is just really close to my heart is our end of the school year party. We have a bonfire. And the reason it is so close to my heart is we've had a lot of kids throughout the years that have moved out of the neighborhood, moved on to different neighborhoods, and still get dropped off here on the last day of school for our bonfire, where they take all the stuff from their desk. I make sure they check with their parents first that they don't need anything out of the backpacks, and they bring huge backpacks full of all the paper from their desks from the year and stuff that their parents are just going to throw away, and we bonfire it. And they always look forward to my bacon ranch pasta salad, and I do brats and pasta salad. And it's just so cute to see a lot of them kids still get dropped off and come over for the party at the last day of school. And no matter what day the last day of school is, we have a great time, and it turns into flashlight tag, and it just is something that I hope to do forever. And my middle one now will be a senior this year, and I'm like, we still have to do back to school parties or end of the school year parties. And so I think as they get older, that it's now when it's even more important to keep, he's still excited to do the parties, and my 20-year-old is still doing it with us. And so we I think that it's just a way to keep that family fun, to keep everyone kind of involved, and have fun events and things that my kids will look forward to each year, and hopefully we'll do with their kids. And I see families that, most of my families that I work with have these really fun traditions and fun ways that they celebrate, and things that pass down to their kids too. And so
it's a great legacy, And I'm just so impressed at your willingness to tolerate all the fire.
Yeah,
it's a fire.
It's a big fire for sure. We have to take time putting it in.
Yes. Very interactive. Well, thanks, Katie. I want to give everyone, I know we only have a couple minutes left, but I do want to open it up if anybody has any questions about any of the updates I give, or anything else going on at FamilyWise, or any questions for Katie specifically. Would like to give people a chance to chime in if they would like to. I think while you're thinking about that, I think about I want to highlight one of Katie's last points is I think sometimes we think that, kids are going to outgrow things, and certainly they outgrow certain traditions, but it is always amazing to me how it can be so meaningful for them to have that anchor and, something that kind of pulls you back to connect with your family and to connect with sort of that sense of security that Katie talked about earlier, and being able to kind of grow and evolve those traditions to kind of create that legacy is really important. So without any other questions, I want to thank Katie for joining us and for all of the work that Katie and our team does with families. I think it really shares how important it is, and just how lucky we are to have such a really talented team. And then I want to thank you all for coming today and let you know that, we try to do these calls quarterly and to share some of our staff's work and some of the work that we're doing. So it really means a lot that you come for that. And I hope that Katie, you see in the chat that there's a lot of people with just sharing sort of appreciation for you. So thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.